Friend turns murderer. Woman accused of 2007 killing and identity theft. The night the garbage bag burned on the quiet Georgia roadside should have been nothing more than a local police call. A suspicious fire, maybe trash, maybe nothing. But inside that bag lay a horror so chilling, investigators couldn't even recognize the woman at first. Limbs, charred flesh, no head, no hands, no feet. A body dumped, a mystery unsolved. For years, the remains sat in storage. No name, no identity, no leads. Until nearly 20 years later, when new DNA testing technology cracked the case. The remains were identified as Nicole Alston, a 24-year-old woman from Manhattan who vanished in 2007 after moving to Georgia with her friend. The twist? The friend who moved with her, Angel Marie Thompson, is now charged with murder and identity theft. Prosecutors say that after Nicole died, Thompson didn't report it. Instead, she assumed Nicole's identity, collected government benefits, Social Security, food stamps, housing, all using Nicole's name for years. Imagine, for years it looked like Nicole was alive. The checks kept coming, the benefits kept flowing, until eventually they stopped and questions resurfaced. Who was in that burning bag on the side of the road? Who killed her? And why did someone let her death go unreported? Now, almost 18 years later, the woman believed responsible is behind bars. But the full truth is still hidden. Where exactly did the murder happen? What really went down that night? And how many more lies lie beneath the surface? That blazing bag opened a door to a deep, dark secret. And once you step through, you may not want to look away. When detectives reopened the case, they knew one thing for sure. Whoever killed Nicole had gone to extreme lengths to hide her body. But as they dug deeper, they discovered something even stranger. After Nicole vanished, someone kept using her name like she was still alive. Rent agreements, store applications, benefit paperwork, all written in Nicole's identity for years. And every trail pointed back to one person, Angel Marie Thompson, the friend who had convinced Nicole to leave New York with her in 2007. Investigators flew to New York to question Nicole's family. Her mother broke down the moment they mentioned her daughter's name. She told detectives something shocking. They had never heard directly from Nicole after she moved. Every message had been typed, every call had been short, and the voice never sounded quite right. But the family wanted to believe she was okay, so they did. Now detectives knew what they were dealing with. Someone had been pretending to be Nicole for almost 2 decades. Back in Georgia, investigators tracked down Angel. When officers knocked on her door, she tried to act surprised, confused even, claiming Nicole had moved away years earlier and they had fallen out of touch. But the police already knew the truth. They had mountains of documents connected directly to Angel. Bank withdrawals, government benefit forms, and phone records, all under Nicole's stolen identity. Detectives laid the evidence on the table. Angel's face went pale. Still, she denied everything until investigators hit her with the DNA results. The remains inside the burning bag were confirmed as Nicole, and the paperwork showing Angel had been using her identity for 17 years was undeniable. Angel's voice shook as she tried to explain. She said Nicole died accidentally. No details, no explanation, just the same line over and over again. She died. I panicked. But detectives didn't believe her. You don't panic and then cut off a friend's head and hands. You don't panic and then live off their identity for nearly 2 decades. You don't panic and then pretend that person is still alive every time you cash a check.
Police believed there was a fight, something violent, something intentional. And when it was over, Angel made a choice, a terrible one, to cover it up and take everything Nicole had. But the biggest question still hung in the air like smoke. Where did Nicole actually die? Detectives searched Angel's old apartments. They dug through abandoned records. They visited storage units, old rental homes, anywhere she had lived between 2007 and now. Each location felt like it held a clue just out of reach, a missing piece, a shadow of what really happened that night. And then, during a quiet evening review of old files, a detective found something odd, a forgotten case, a police call made the very night Nicole vanished, a report no one had ever connected until now, a report that might finally reveal how Nicole really died. The forgotten police report was short, barely a paragraph, but it changed everything. It described a loud argument inside a small rental house in DeKalb County on the night Nicole disappeared. A neighbor had heard shouting, then a sudden crash, and then silence. When officers arrived back in 2007, no one answered the door, and because there were no signs of forced entry, the call was marked as resolved and closed. Now detectives knew that house belonged to Angel at the exact time Nicole vanished. They rushed to the property. The house was old, worn down, and now abandoned. But as they stepped inside, something about the quiet felt heavy, like the walls had soaked up secrets that were finally ready to spill out. Crime scene investigators scanned every inch. At first, nothing stood out. The carpets had been replaced, the walls repainted, almost too clean. But the floorboards, those were original.
The technician knelt down and shone a light between the cracks. He froze. There, deep in the grain of the wood, were small, dark stains that had never fully washed away. Samples were collected and rushed to the lab. Hours later, the results came back. The blood belonged to Nicole. Investigators now had the missing link. Nicole didn't die somewhere unknown. She died right here, inside this house, the very night Angel claimed she had panicked. Police believe Angel confronted Nicole about money, maybe about lies, maybe about something much deeper. What followed was violent, a struggle that ended with Nicole dead on the floor, the same floor where her dried blood still lingered 18 years later. After the killing, detectives say Angel dismembered Nicole's body, stuffed it into a bag, drove it to a quiet roadside, and set it on fire. Then she walked away, not just from the scene, but from her own identity, slipping into Nicole's life like a stolen coat. For years, she lived off benefits, rent support, and government payments meant for the woman she had killed. She answered messages pretending to be Nicole. She filled out forms with Nicole's name. She lived a lie so deep that even Nicole's own family didn't know she was gone. But now, the truth had finally caught up. Angel Marie Thompson was arrested and charged with murder, concealing a death, and identity theft. Her life of pretending had ended, and Nicole's long, silent story had finally been given a voice. And as the detectives closed the case file, one thing became painfully clear. A killer can hide a body, a killer can steal a name, but a killer can't escape the truth forever. More true crime stories are coming. Don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell, and tell me in the comments which real case you want next.